What's something a doctor did to you that you won't ever forget? My family doctor abandoned my dying brother to go on vacation, and then had the nerve to ask for my help years later. My brother Jake was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer when he was just 17. Dr. Anderson had been our family doctor for 20 years. He promised us he'd personally oversee Jake's treatment and be there every step of the way. I was 24 and working as a nurse, so I knew how important having a dedicated doctor was. For the first 2 months, Dr. Anderson seemed committed. He'd call with test results himself, spend extra time explaining treatment options, and even gave us his personal cell number for emergencies. Jake trusted him completely. Then things started changing. Dr. Anderson began sending his resident to appointments instead. When we'd ask questions, he'd say, "Just trust me," without explaining anything. He stopped returning our calls promptly, taking days to respond about critical test results. One day, Jake had a severe reaction to his chemotherapy. His temperature hit 104, and he was coughing up blood. I called Dr. Anderson 7 times. No answer. When we got to the ER, we found out he'd left for a 2-week Caribbean cruise without telling us or arranging backup care. Jake almost died that night. The ER doctors had no access to his latest test results or treatment plan because Dr. Anderson hadn't updated his charts in weeks. They had to start from scratch, running tests Jake had already gone through. I took over managing Jake's care after that. I'd work 12-hour nursing shifts, then spend hours researching treatments and coordinating with specialists. Dr. Anderson would show up occasionally, review my notes, and then bill insurance as if he'd done all the work himself. The worst came during Jake's final weeks. He needed specialized pain management, but Dr. Anderson kept dismissing his suffering. "He's young, he can handle it," he'd say, ignoring Jake's screams during procedures. I had to fight to get him proper medication. Jake passed away 3 months later. Dr. Anderson didn't even come to see him in his final days. He sent a generic sympathy card that he'd signed with a stamp. 2 weeks later, his office billed us for end-of-life care consultation, appointments that never happened. 5 years passed. I continued my nursing career, eventually becoming an oncology specialist. Then one day, Dr. Anderson was wheeled into my unit. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. When he recognized me, his face went pale. He started crying, begging me to be his primary nurse. He said he knew he'd failed Jake, but now he understood what it felt like. He wanted someone who knew what they were doing, someone who wouldn't abandon him. I listened to him sob about how scared he was, how he couldn't trust his doctors to take his pain seriously, how he lay awake at night worrying they'd miss something important, how he needed someone to advocate for him. I looked at his chart, then directly at him, and said, "I'll find you another nurse. I'm going on a 2-week Caribbean cruise. Just trust me. You're young. You can handle it." The look of realization on his face was worth every second of waiting 5 years for revenge. He died alone 3 months later.